Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Sociology Analytica. This is Pooja, Prasanna, your sociology faculty. Today, I'll be discussing the last question on Karl Marx. It's again a pretty simple question. The question is, commodity fetishism captures the evil of modern factory system. Comment. It's a 10-marker question. What is it? They are telling that commodity fetishism, which is a concept given by Karl Marx. So what it says, it actually talks about the evils behind the modern factory system. So we have to show how it reveals the evil behind the modern factory system. See, this is again a Karl Marx concept. So what you have to do is please just stick to how Karl Marx is trying to explain commodity fetishism. Okay. So again, as it is Karl Marx concept, he would have studied this in some of the other book. He would have talked about this in some of the other book. So please do not forget to mention the book title. This is very much important. So Karl Marx has talked about the fetishism of commodity in his book Das Kapital. Okay. So here, how does he define or how does he talk about commodity fetishism? It is a condition under capitalism under which social relation become expressed as a relation between the thing. That is, the social relationship, whatever it has to exist, so that will cease, but the commodity will become everything. Okay, the commodity, whatever the commodity position will be there, based on that position, other social relationship will also be developed. Okay, so this is a loose conception of commodity fetishism. You can start with this. Then we can move on to the body part, where you will be explaining in detail how commodity fetishism exposes or captures the evil of modern factory system. Okay, so what Karl Marx do is that, so for Karl Marx, commodity is a product of labor. What he says, whatever the product which is coming or the commodity which is there, who is preparing that, who is manufacturing it? It is the labor who is preparing it or manufacturing it. Okay, so labor should technically have full control on the commodity, but it is not happening. So this is what he wants to tell. Okay, so in order to explain that, what he will do, he will do a small of comparative study. Okay, comparative study of earlier time to that of the that is pre-modern era to the modern era. So in the pre-modern era, that is in the earlier time, commodity had a use value. What is the use value? Suppose let's say suppose let's say I'm a potter. Okay, I'm preparing a pot because I want to have a pot, or I want to have, or my community people should want to have one, or family members need to have one, or a village community people need to have one, something like that. See, I used to prepare because somebody else had a value, somebody else wanted to use it, so that is why I used to manufacture that particular pot. Okay, so back in those days, the commodity had a use value. So there was an intimate relation between the needs and the actual object. That is, you used to produce or manufacture a particular object because there was a need for it. Okay, did you understand this? So every product, whatever the product it was manufactured, it had a value for it, it had a use value for it. So it had a qualitatively, one commodity was qualitatively different from that of the other commodity. Understand? So you cannot basically use one commodity and replace that with the other commodity. It was not like that. Okay, and now he'll try to, after talking about earlier society, that is pre-modern society, now he talks about the capitalistic society. He says, in capitalistic society, commodity has now exchange value. What is exchange value here? See, for example, I'm a potter, so I'm actually manufacturing a pot. Okay, so let's say somebody else has manufactured shoes, or there is a farmer who is actually producing rice. There is a farmer who is producing rice, and there is me who is producing a pot. Okay, so what is happening? So whatever I have manufactured, I'm bringing everything to the market, and all that farmer who has produced rice, he is also bringing that to the market, and there the product is having what? Exchange value or the market value. Okay, so it really doesn't matter. The rice will also have the same value. My product will also have the same value. So sometimes the commodity comes so much in the market that the value of the commodity actually loses its relevance. Okay, so now it is more of a quantitative different. So quantitatively they are different rather than they have lost its qualitative value, is what is talking about. Understood? So now commodity has become independent and takes a mystical external reality. So whatever the purpose of the commodity, it has lost its relevance. Okay, so now what is happening? Commodity is manufactured solely to go to the market. Okay, not for the personal use, but solely to go to the market. So whosoever has produced that labor, he no more has that intimate connection to that to that of the commodity. It is what he is telling. Did you understand? So eventually the labor itself will become a commodity is what. So the way product is becoming commodity, eventually the labor itself will become commodity. So for example, you can now sell your labor and somebody else can actually buy your labor. Suppose if you want to do some work, so somebody else will buy you in order to get the work done. Understood? So previously man used to work for himself, but now somebody else is hiring you, somebody else is buying your labor. Did you understand? All of you understood? So now commodity, so what he says, so further commodity is the source of alienation. Okay, commodity itself is a source of alienation, and he calls this as what? Commodity fetishism. So when you can't have something which is actually yours, whatever you have only built, but you can't have that, so then what will you do? You will start fetishizing over that particular thing. Okay, so this is nothing but commodity fetishism. So let's say you are manufacturing an iPhone, you have put all your effort, but then you cannot possibly buy that iPhone. Why? Because that iPhone is costing around 1 lakh. So what you have to do, you have only manufactured, but you cannot have it. In order to have it, you have to go to the market and buy at 1 lakh rupee only. Understand? So you'll start fetishizing over that particular commodity. So that commodity is now controlling you. So it is what is Karl Marx telling. Did you understand? All of you? So this is about commodity fetishism. Fine. So it's again a simple topic. It is right there in most of the textbooks. You just have to read and write the exact points, whatever it is relevant for the question. Fine. In case further if you have any queries, please drop your queries in the comment section, and tomorrow I'll be starting with Durkheim. Fine. Thank you all. See you all tomorrow.